Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it was just about 2 years ago today that you convened a hearing on this same topic as we were approaching FAA reauthorization. In the end, we came to a bipartisan consensus on what we need to do to reform certification. And I would hope that we can reach that same point again very quickly this year. It was the other issues in the bill that precluded the adoption of a longer-term authorization, and hopefully we can do that this year. We did adopt at least one change. I had heard from a number of people, particularly dealing with the Chinese Aviation Authority, that our manufacturers are over there without FAA representation, so essentially a company dealing with the government as opposed to government supporting our companies. And I got a provision included to allow the FAA to accept reimbursements. Unfortunately, it seems that the FAA has been unable to figure out a way to accept reimbursements, which should take about 10 minutes. So I'll be asking about that today. I really want to see that move forward, and I want to help rein in the abuses of the Chinese and others. Another concern is the charges that are levied. The EASA, to revalidate an FAA-issued certificate charges about 95% of what they would charge for a manufacturer to bring in a new product and go through their full certification. That seems unreasonable, and I think it would be critical that in this long-term bill that we put in provisions for reciprocity. That is, if the Europeans want to do that to our manufacturers, then we're going to do it to their manufacturers for the same price. And then perhaps we can bring them to the table and get more reasonable. And then just not to engage in the debate over the privatization of air traffic, but that is what caused these provisions to stall last year. And I would observe that certification is, when the industry is polled broadly, the #1 issue. And reforming it's one thing, but it's going to, in the proposal that passed this committee last time, it's going to be left over subject to the vicissitudes of the appropriators and sequestration and all the other problems that we've had, while over here we would have the ATO, but yet the ATO can't move forward without the certification. So I think sundering the agency is problematic when the certification is recognized by so many as the #1 problem we have today with the FAA. And like everyone else, I'd like to thank Peggy Gilligan, a lifetime of work, and I guess this is probably the last time we'll have you here formally. But I wish you well in a well and hard-earned retirement, and your legacy is that you've been a warrior for safety, and the industry has the best safety record during your tenure as the Chief Safety Officer of any time in the history of the United States, and I think a lot of people can thank you for that. You kept them safe. With that, I yield.